GearNetwork.com.
Welcome again, everyone, to Turnbuckle Talk Radio here on the Gear Radio Network. This is episode 4, and my name is John Cimino, the unofficial MC, if you will, of this podcast. And on this edition, Gabriel, Soul, and Pat G are going to come to you from Grapplers Anonymous. They went ahead and did some traveling, and they're coming to you live from there. Good stuff there. They're also going to talk about ESW's Aftershock with Anthony Gaines, Mikey Everynite, and Kenneth Terrell. So enjoy the ESW Power Hour, if you will, here as Turnbuckle Talk Radio starts right now. This is a Gear Network production.
Once again, here we are on the Turnbuckle Talk Radio podcast. Gabriel Soul not in the building this time around, but we are at Grapplers Anonymous to talk a little ESW wrestling with my special guest host. Introduce yourself for the fans.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is none-of-a-kind Anthony Gaines, and you may know me as the very personable cameraman from ESW for the past upwards of 3 years now. Wow, time flies. It's crazy. But yeah, I'm just here at Grapplers Anonymous trying to get better, working my craft. I got a big match on Saturday, June 18th against the man that put the entertainment back into sports entertainment. No, I'm not talking about Brian DeVille. RJ City.
Yes, we will definitely get into that. Now, it's been known for the last however long it's been that you have not been a fan of Brian DeVille and RJ City.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. As far back as I can remember, which is WrestleBash 2015, when we had James Storm and the Batiri and Tommy Dreamer and everything in the building.
So a year ago.
Almost a year ago, yeah, closer to 9 months. For whatever reason, Let's start off from humble beginnings here.
Yeah, of course.
For those that don't know, I am a huge fan of independent wrestling, and as a matter of fact, the first independent wrestling promotion I came to was ESW. My cousins used to buy tickets to the events, and I'd always try to get front row, but I'd be like second or third, and cheering on Johnny Puma and Will Calrissian, and booing the Caesar, and being terrified of Riot. So I'm like 14, 15, 16 years old at this point.
Normal wrestling fan.
Yeah, so now here I am, a 22-year-old man. I honestly, when I was sitting in second, third row, I honestly never thought I would even cross that rail for any purpose. Like, it was at that time that I didn't even want to be a professional wrestler, because when you're a kid, all these guys on TV, they're larger than life. You're Bill Goldbergs and you're Kevin Nash.
Yeah.
You're like, wow, that's cool, but I'm never going to be that. I'm not as big, I'm not as strong. But,
and of course, even when we're younger, we're imitating them, watching TV.
Oh, of course. Like, who doesn't want to be their idol,
Yeah.
So, fast forward a few years, and still buying tickets to the events, but I realized that chasing your dream, and there's more to wrestling than just WCW, ECW, WWE. Like, there are minors like there is any other sports. There's the independent wrestling scene, which, again, back in that day was not nearly as thriving as it is now. Like, PWG was still drawing 60, 70 people per show only. And, ESW has grown to something exponentially larger than I think any of us could ever imagine. So when the opportunity was brought upon me, hey, while you're training to become a wrestler, would you like to do camera? I mean, Of course, that's literally the best. That's the best seat in the house,
in the door.
But not even that. Like, I was just thinking, oh my god, like, this company that I admire so much wants me to be a part of it in any way, shape, or form. That right there, even though I was training to become a professional wrestler, that right there was good enough for me. Like, I could have been cameraman for ESW for the next 15 years and still been so happy, But now 9 months ago, come WrestleBash 2015, it was Kevin Bennett and RJ City.
Yes.
And Brian DeVille,
of course.
Little Weasley, little dastardly.
Former host of Turnbuckle Talk when you were on the radio.
Oh, yeah. So
you were.
Right, so the fans know that, like, this guy's kind of a prick,
Yeah.
For whatever reason, I honestly can't pinpoint it because I didn't do anything wrong. RJ City had won the title that night from Kevin Bennett after like a near 3-year reign.
Yes.
Which was crazy. As I'm getting the last shot of RJ City holding up the belt in victory, I get shoved by Brian DeVille and then spat on.
Yes, I remember this.
I'm like, boy, what would I do to deserve this? And, here I am, like, I'm literally just doing my job. And I'm fine with doing this job. Like, I did nothing
and you get disrespected for no reason.
I did nothing to antagonize him either. So, all right, November, December goes by, January comes by, and what happened in January? Oh, January comes by, and Brian DeVille, what was it? Brian DeVille and RJ City versus Riot, I believe it was.
I believe so.
Yeah,
I believe he had to face Riot.
Right. Yes. He faced Riot, and not it was done on one side of the ring. So not if the fans didn't notice this or whatever. Riot had almost secured the victory for the Interstate title, and had RJ down. He was signaling for a signature choke slam. RJ grabs onto the ref. Hey, I think I'm hurt. He turns around because Brian DeVille's trying to get in the ring. So Riot goes to grab him. He tries to cower. What people did not see is Brian DeVille had a secret, large 80s-style black camera that was literally the size of your average VCR at that point. And just cracked it over the head of Riot, securing another victory for RJ City. Seemingly. Now, here's where things get a little sticky. Because I was disrespected, and I'm an Italian man. I tend to hold grudges.
Of course.
I crossed a line, probably that I shouldn't have. Should I have been spat on in November? No. So I hopped on the apron and I told the ref, hey, I have the footage right here. Look at Brian DeVille cheating. Mm-hmm. Look at him cheat. So Brian DeVille gets caught, and out comes everything. Mm-hmm. I thought what had happened was he was cheating, I was doing the right thing, but the ref was going to eject Brian DeVille from ringside, which was amazing. Fans went crazy because they're like, hey, yeah, screw that cheating Brian DeVille. Just as I was about to pick back up my camera, he throws me into the very unforgiving, solid wooden stairs of ESW, which happened to be like almost 90 pounds, man. It's crazy. They're heavy. And
those stairs are heavy.
Solid, man. They're solid. So yeah, that happened, and I needed to be escorted to the back. I thought I had a concussion. Turns out I didn't. I just got my bell rung a little bit, but again, completely unnecessary. Sorry with this whole story. I'm just trying to build the timeline here. So we fast forward to March now. March, it was RJ City versus, if I'm not mistaken, who was it? It was RJ City. He was coming out for a scheduled match with Johnny Inferno Adams.
Yes.
And of course, me. So grateful to have this cameraman job.
Because you're right there.
Because I'm right there. I have the best seat in the house, man. Really, I do. He turns to me and he says, I'm looking at you. Do we have a problem? And I'm like, no. And you can look back at the footage and say, no, I'm just trying to do my job.
Yep.
He said, well, your job is to get in the ring and talk to me. And I said, so here I am. I'm a very trusting human being, So I get in the ring and he says a few words and I laughed in his face and I said, yes, I corrupted you of cheating your way to another victory, which backfired on me because he ended up keeping the title by cheating himself anyways. It's a double down with this swindlery.
Of course.
So he calls me in the ring, and then Brian DeVille turns me around and he says, hey, I hear you're being trained by Colin Delaney, and I hear you're being trained by Pepper Parks, and you're doing big things at Grapplers Anonymous, you're the next upcoming talent in the area, and then slaps me across the face.
Unprovoked,
like, yeah, I'm in a ring, but you blindsided me, man. So I've had enough at this point. Finally, the pot's starting to boil over, my jacket comes off, and I get Brian DeVille by the collar, I'm about to slug him. And behind me is RJ City with that damn sleeper hold. Thank God for Johnny Inferno Adams coming to my aid, but yeah, man, he knocked one of my teeth out, bloody mouth and everything. So now let's go back to last month. I like to think I have a pretty good poker face, so the whole night I'm still giddy. I'm like, yes, Chris Hero, Michael Elgin. Boom, Johnny Puma, new #1 contender. Bam, Oliver Street back on top. And now comes the ESW Interstate Championship match between RJ City and Coconut Jones.
A returning Coconut Jones,
which fan favorite of ESW for a long, long time. So we're all happy to see him back, right? it comes a point where, again, RJ tries to underhand his way to another victory, and yet again I hop up on the apron. Hey, RJ. Hey, ref. Feet are on the ropes. RJ, this isn't going to happen on my watch. How many times do I have to tell you? And he spits in my face. Not metaphorically. He spit a loogie right between my eyes.
ESW replay on the highlights.
The ESW Brofest 2016 recap shows a rather large loogie right between the eyes.
Right in your face.
So again, I'm a very hot-headed man, and it all boils. You can only keep in so much for so long. Right?
Kind of the straw that broke the camel's back.
Absolutely. So the water's boiling over at this point. So I take off my hoodie and I see Brian DeVille getting on the apron and holding RJ City's hands, stopping the sunset flip. I got up on the apron and I super kicked Brian DeVille.
And it was a beautiful super kick. I'd like to comment on that.
Thank you so much. In turn, letting go of RJ City's hands, and RJ loses the title after, a year. Yeah. Almost a year to the day, if not a couple days over the year to the day. RJ City loses the title to Coconut Jones via my underhanded
tactics.
My underhanded tactic, yeah. I do not feel remorse for it at all, because you can only push somebody so much before they boil over and before emotions start to get the best of you. Like I said in the beginning, should I have overstepped my boundary and hopped up on the apron in the first place and told the referee that Brian DeVille and RJ City was cheating? Probably not.
Well, I look at it this way, is originally you were trying to just do your job.
And I loved my job. And
Brian DeVille kind of unprovokedly pushed you.
He poked the sleeping bear.
And that. So when it came around again and you had your opportunity to kind of, you know what, you got me, I got you now, we're even.
That's right.
Brian DeVille and RJ City came back again and decided to, no, this isn't even, we're going to get you again. And they did.
It was a very vicious cycle, but I think at the end of the day, he walked away without his title.
Oh, absolutely.
And I think I walked out the bigger man. But again, now we're looking forward to this Saturday, June 18th, at St. Johnsburg Fire Hall for ESW Aftershock. Again, I really... and here's what they don't get, and I don't think they can grasp this enough. Like I said before, I could have stayed on camera for another 15 years, 20 years, and I would have been perfectly fine with that, because I loved ESW growing up. Mm-hmm. I loved the product. And for me to even be across from that guardrail, catching the action, that was enough for me.
Yeah.
You know? Like if you exceed the pinnacle, I thought, I'm going to be here, and then I'm working for the top company in the area. Holy hell. You know? So, that was totally fine with me, but now it's not, you know?
Yeah.
Now I got to go face to face with, and let's be realistic here, okay? Because I'm not one to take a shovel and start burying people. RJ City is probably one of the top rising independent stars in this area. Probably the top prospect in Canada altogether. He's winning titles all over the world.
Oh,
the man just beat Kurt Angle.
Yeah.
The man beats Kurt Angle, and then what? So yeah, all I can say is that I'm looking forward to this Saturday. And if there's anything that I want RJ to hear, it's this. And that I've been sitting behind camera for the past almost 3 years now, catching dozens upon dozens of RJ City matches. RJ, I know your every move. Every step you take, I know. And I'm 2 steps ahead of you. No matter what you do, no matter what you break out, I am 2 steps ahead of you, and I want him to know that. And I don't think he's taking me as seriously as he should.
I completely agree with that, because the video that Brian DeVille recorded a couple of weeks ago, and he said what he said.
His snitty little barbershop.
They're not taking you with great thought.
No.
And this is the thing. Yes, you've been behind a camera for almost 3 years.
But at the same amount of time, I've been training with former WWE superstar Colin Delaney, current TNA breakout star Pepper Parks and/or Braxton Sutter, whatever you know him as, and former ESW World Heavyweight Champion Brandon Thurston. So I have quite the resume behind me.
Oh, absolutely.
But he really doesn't. He doesn't dwell deep enough to look at that. He just takes me as some kid with a camera in my hand.
But you also pointed the biggest facts. for the past few years. You've been watching his every move.
That's right.
You know he takes one step, you're 2 steps ahead.
That's
and
right.
Sometimes that's the biggest strength against an opponent.
That's right. You're absolutely right.
But this Saturday, June 18th, RJ City, Brian DeVille better be ready because none of kind Anthony Gaines. I think he's gonna get that first big ESW win in his first ESW debut match.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Complete silence. Just t-shirt's face.
A joke.
You know, I'm often asked about the logos of the show and Gear Network and everything. It comes to me, JC, where do you get the designs, the cool designs for the show and everything? And I'm going to tell you, I'm going to tell everybody right now, right here, you heard it here, it is Indie Card Media. Indie Card Media is a local business that specializes in making quality designs for your website or your business. Whatever you do, they can do it. If you need proof, you can look at all of our logos, or you can go to facebook.com/IndieCardMedia to see all of the designs, which include a political banner, because they've done political banners and everything. Nothing is off limits with them. Give Eric a shout at IndieCardMafia@gmail.com and he will help you bring your design to life. Tell him Gear Network sent you, and hey, he may hook you up with a little something, or at least a smile, because you heard it here. But go to IndieCard Media Facebook. Again, facebook.com/IndieCard Media. Do it now. Bring your designs to life. Hey everyone, John Cimino here for the Gear Radio Network, and you have asked and asked repeatedly, what is up with the app? We know you have one, and you never push it. You never do anything with it. Well, guess what? We got a better one, and it is free. It is absolutely available for you, and there's so much more you can do with it. Visit GearNetwork.com and click Get the App. It's up on the top banner, or if you're feeling really brave, head to gearnetwork.mobapp.at on your mobile phone and your mobile phone's browser, and you can take Gear Network with you wherever you go. Listen to every show on the Gear Network right from the app. You can view all of our social networks in real time. You can read Gear Network and BLTDsports.com blogs in real time, and you can also shop Amazon and help us out and help you out. It is free. Did I mention that? Again, gearnetwork.com or gearnetwork.mobapp.at. Download it right now.
All right, we're back here on the Turnbuckle Talk Radio podcast. I'm joined by my guest co-host, and returning none-of-the-kind Anthony Gaines.
Thank you, sir.
Now, we've talked about your match against RJ City.
Yeah,
now let's focus on the rest of ESW.
Right, because ESW is totally not about me. They've been bringing you the best product for over 10 years now, so... let's see, what do we got here?
Especially coming off WrestleDash.
Oh, God, yeah. Brawl Fest!
Brawl Fest.
Brawl Fest!
I can edit that out.
For
Brawl
both,
Fest.
yes.
The joy of editing.
Well, right, of course. I'm sure you can edit that out. But let's run down the card a little bit here. Personally, I'm going to start off with my favorite. We have, for those of you that don't know, the independent scene is flourishing, and it's growing into something that nobody can control. We have two young upstarts from the Northeast. One by the name from Cleveland, Ohio, trained by ESW star Johnny Gargano in the form of Alex Daniels. Alex Daniels has been tearing up AIW, and he's, I think, the AIW Absolute Champion, if I'm not mistaken. Again, trained by Johnny Gargano. Super talented kid, crazy athletic, super personable, like he's got this face that you kind of just want to mug him, but at the same time, you're like, hey, he looks like he can give an okay hug, you know? Versus New York City's breakout star in the form of Rude Boy Riley. Rude Boy Riley has been working so much top-tier talent as of lately. Justin Gabriel, and I believe he might have just worked Damian Sandow, if I'm not mistaken. He's also the Warriors of Wrestling World Heavyweight Champion. So super talented kids, super young kids. God bless them for being so talented and so in shape. God, the envy is real. So I look forward to that, and I think ESW is starting to take notice to indie breakout stars like this. So I'm looking forward to that. We have Coconut Jones hosting a open invitation match RJ City was doing. I'd like to think that's a little plug at RJ City. You know, I can do an open challenge too.
Oh yeah.
I honestly, I think people are trying to take guesses at who's gonna take Coconut Jones's challenge, and I have no guesses. I'm hoping it's Captain Dan and the Schoolboy, to be honest with you. Mouthful of gin and all.
It could be. You don't know. There's a lot of talent in ESW.
Well, there's a lot of talent outside of ESW too.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. We're also going to be naming a new ESW general manager that time.
Yes, I heard Johnny Puma relinquished the title because he wants no distractions and wants to be completely focused on his big match this weekend.
If you think about it, which that transitions perfectly. Johnny Puma and Will Calrissian have been wrestling for over 10 years now.
ESW Originals.
Not to, take a cop off of a WrestleMania moment here, but this literally is the end of the era of Johnny Puma and Will Calrissian. And again, I wouldn't have it any other way if I was behind the camera catching it, but damn that RJC. But I am seriously looking forward to this. The little kid that used to buy tickets inside of me is looking forward to this, and I know I'm going to be glued to the edge of my seat watching this. I'm probably going to shed a little tears of joy for whoever comes out the victor, who comes out the loser.
Yeah, definitely. A match that I'm looking forward to is Kevin Bennett and the Oliver Street Express taking on Chris Cooper and the Rochester Wrecking Crew. The Wrecking Crew just regaining the ESW Tag Team Championships.
2-time Tag Team Champions.
And the Oliver Street Express just winning a triple threat match with two very good other tag teams.
Two established, powerful, really, really hyped up tag teams here. Like, to Infinity and Beyond were previously undefeated until then. The team of Colin Delaney and Cheech, and then the Hate Brigade, of course, being accompanied by Brian DeVille, in the form of Roscoe Black and Bobby Sapphire. I think that, and I really don't know how other way to put it, but you gotta root for the young kids. I'm 22 years old, and I'm rooting for my buddies here.
Of course.
Kevin and Oliver Street, of course. I think that they they have a little more passion, a little more speed behind them than Chris Cooper and the Wrecking Crew, so to speak.
But in the comment that my co-host Gabriel Soul says, experience is always trumps youth.
And it is true. It is true. Like, how many years have the Wrecking Crew been a tag team? How many years was Chris Cooper on top of ESW?
Yeah.
Like that might in itself be the power trip.
Oh, of course. But Kevin Bennett, who's just coming off a astounding last year, plus the 3-year reigning Interstate champion.
You're absolutely right.
The Oliver Street Express finally getting their time to shine in the ESW tag team division.
Couldn't have said it better myself. I look forward to that. Like I said, I think that's the most even that we've ever seen a matchup.
Now, another match, since we talked Hate Brigade, and of course, a match that was announced, Cheech is on his own after the Hate Brigade viciously beat down Colin Delaney, and he suffered a concussion.
Colin Delaney suffered a very serious concussion. So much so that he doesn't even want to come back to risk being in the graces of the Hate Brigade again, and I don't blame him.
I don't think anybody.
I really don't blame him. Like, just stand next to Lakeem for 2 seconds, and you will realize, like,
yeah, you stand next to Roscoe Black or Bobby Sapphire, and you're like, can I run and hide?
Yeah, no, and hide enough, I cannot.
Yeah.
So we look forward to Cheech in singles action, right?
He is taking on big time Bill Collier, though. That's
a big boy.
Yeah.
But again, like, Cheech has been around for so long, and he's so agile, and you never really know what to expect from him. Like, him and Cloudy had a killer match.
This is true.
So running back down, we have this time a returning fan favorite in the form of Gregory Iron.
Yes.
Versus Brandon Thurston. And of course, Brandon Thurston should not be accompanied by his goons that are the patron saints of professional wrestling.
Goons!
That door,
really?
That door was closed.
That door was never closed. There are no doors that are closed when the patron saints are in the building.
That door was closed.
That door, well, I don't even know how they got in here.
You don't need to worry about how we got here. You need to worry about the fact that we're here right now. And we heard you bad-mouthing us, calling us a couple of goons.
That was Pat G.
What? Oh, was it?
Yes.
I don't care who it was. The fact of the matter is, don't talk about us unless you want us to come find you.
Flip his map, but what are you, like Beetlejuice?
Beetlejuice? What is it? You know what? You got a big mouth. You got a smart mouth. Don't let it get you hurt right now. Okay? I'm not in the best of moods right now because I have to deal with what I'm with Mikey Everynite, by the way. We heard you. We heard you from afar talking about the Patriots Hates Professional Wrestling. You need to realize something. You put respect on each and every one of our names when you talk about the Patriots Hates Professional Wrestling.
You know,
right, Mikey?
You know, I'm a high school dropout, so my mouth really ain't that smart.
Shut up.
Okay.
Well, for those listening, we are joined by 2/4 of the patron saints of professional wrestling, Terrell, Kenneth, and Mikey Everynite.
That's right, the greatest group of professional wrestlers ever assembled of all time.
Exactly.
And you know why that is, Pat?
Why is that, Mikey?
Because we reveal the truth. And you want to know what the truth is?
What
Pat?
is the truth?
That Brandon Thurston and the Patron Saints are the greatest wrestlers ever.
I mean, you really didn't win that.
Did I tell you to speak?
No, you didn't.
Let me tell you something about Gregory Iron, that abomination to professional wrestling.
Why is he an abomination?
Hold on.
Why is he not an abomination? Does he look like a real wrestler to you? You know who looks like a real wrestler to me? Brandon Thurston looks like a real wrestler. Frank Gotch looks like a real wrestler. Lou Fez looks like a real wrestler. Gregory Iron is neither of those men. Not any of them. He will never be any of them. He should take his cerebral palsy and he should take his ball and he should go home before he gets to ESW.
He's a goddamn inspiration.
An inspiration to who?
I shut up again.
He's not an inspiration to me. He's definitely not an inspiration to Mikey Everynite. We speak for Steve Gage and Brandon Thurston on that subject. Something funny?
Steve Gage.
It's something funny.
Steve Gage is hilarious.
Steve Gage
It's like
is
one of
just
your
as respected as we should be. Steve Gage is a part of the Patriots Hates Professional Wrestling. You can look at him. You can look at him as an underling. Whatever you want to look at
You're
him.
hurting my shoulder.
I don't listen. I'll make it hurt even worse.
Please
if
don't.
you keep talking.
You should do some shoulder presses in the gym like how
Let's
Brandon has us do.
Let's
huh?
play a little game.
Oh, I ain't gonna.
You're not good at games? Let me tell you something. You're going to be good at this one. This conversation from now on is rhetorical. You speak when spoken to. Is that understood?
Yes, Troy, sir.
Troy.
Yes, sir.
You know what? You're not even worth catching the case.
You might have to slap his face.
I'm not going to listen. I got priors. I'm not dealing with this. You know, let me tell you something. Brandon Thurston is going to humiliate Gregory Iron if he steps foot in ESW on Saturday. And if he doesn't, because he's a smart man, I think he's a smart man, he has to be. If he doesn't show up, that is the only thing that will save him from Brandon Thurston and the Patriots Hates Professional Wrestling. Do you have any more questions for us? Do you have any more questions for us? Did I tell you to speak when spoken to? Listen!
Speaking to me now. No, wait. Just let me talk for a second. Now, let's give the Patron Saints their due. As aggressive as they are, over the past, in all of 2016, they've now rid ESW of Dick Justice. Please step back, sir. They've now rid ESW of Dick Justice. Brandon Thurston has been running rampant upon any singles competition that he's gotten his hands on. The Patron Saints themselves have established themselves as quite a dominant tag team, and really utilizing the Freebird rule to their advantage, which... Bravo, guys. Seriously.
Let me ask you a question, Anthony Gaines.
Yes, sir.
And it's not a rhetorical question. Do you think Brandon Thurston is the greatest wrestler in Western New York today?
I am going to say this. Brandon Thurston being one of my trainers, he is absolutely one of the best in Western New York.
That's right. You remember licking the sweat off your own forehead when you're down at the GA, huh?
Undoubtedly.
The only problem I have with what you just said is you said he is one of the best wrestlers in Western New York history. He is the best wrestler in Western New York history. And there's no doubt, there is no cloud.
Barry Hardy still works.
There's not a doubt. I'm still talking.
Yes.
That Barry Hardy is jabroni chainsaw. You can take that and shove it.
Ridiculous. What's professional wrestling come to? Has it come to the thoughts of guys like Gregory Iron being exciting? Is that thrilling matches? Is that hard hitting? Is that technical wrestling at its best? No, it is not.
When Brandon Thurston puts the chicken wing on the chicken wing, it's
I saw what you did there.
all over, Gregory. You should just stay home. Think about your family. Think about your friends. Consider them in this situation, because at this moment that you hear this,
You can't just say things like that.
Quiet!
Brandon Thurston will stretch you. He will tear the ligaments out of your bad arm. I'm telling you, think about them. consider the situation, consider the consequences, because they are dire for you.
I'm at a loss.
This is a promise. This is a guarantee. If you show up to ESW, you won't be walking out.
Oh.
You will be carried out by goons like Anthony Gaines.
No, wait, y'all told me.
Quiet!
Yes, sir.
The Oliver Street. Kevin Bennett. So stay at home. Take a night off. Do whatever you do with the one that works. Because the other will not. Ever again.
Couldn't have said it better.
Y'all make sure to open that door on the way.
Let me tell you one more time. Be quiet.
We have a date at the gym. Let's go lift some heavy stuff, big man.
Gregory Iron, don't show up.
A couple of foot-long subs there. God, shut up! You know, that Terrell Kenneth is a very, very hot-headed individual. My shoulder. I don't even see. Now I'm not 100% for Saturday. My God. All right, ladies and gentlemen, while I go change my underwear, we're gonna go take another break.
Yeah,
I seem to have soiled myself.
Also, before we go, Hornswoggle and the Honky Tonk Band will be in attendance.
So let's do. Which, by the way, either one of them
Could end up ESWGM.
They very well could. Can you imagine?
And Hornswoggle has experience.
Oh God, let's not talk about that. I'm talking about Honky Tonk Man running ESW.
Boy, I could just imagine. I could just imagine that.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, signing off. My name is None of a Kind Anthony Gaines, and I sure as hell hope I see all of you on Saturday, June 18th for ESW Aftershock.
The preceding presentation has been brought to you by the Gear Network.